Our new book, Ashley Men Will Make You Fat, is available now for pre-order. Check out bourbonbougieshop.com. And now for your next very informative and or wonderful video. So I want to talk about getting and receiving advice, but I'm going to do it in a roundabout way. So last year, I took the time to read about 73 books. I was very interested in the countries that have been colonized and their impacts. And what I did, I was looking from the perspective of women and how culture and colonization impacted women. So I was crisscrossing the globe and I was in up and down history looking at different perspectives. And one theme that I saw across culture, no matter, the flavor was different, but there was a common theme. The cultures that have been impacted by colonization had a male cohort that was oppressive to the women. So you could tell, there was a similar thread. So it was something about being colonized that had these people weak to the point where they needed to feel strong, and they felt stronger, or at least in a better position, by being domineering over women. So the oppressed in one situation needed to get their humanity back by being, a leader, or feel like they have some authority in another portion of life. Now, being a man, there are different things, different ways that people attempt to have some kind of power or authority. And through colonization, it was the alabasters versus the melanated people. And from the church, it was the higher authority, which is typically a man, over a woman. So what men have done is use religious authority as a way to have dominion over their household, because very few of these people have dominion in the outside world. So they can't punch up, they have to punch down. And so then women have some authority over their children. Now, all of this is artificial and created. Old folks think that they have some kind of authority because they're older. Women have authority over children and think that their advice is wise. Men, because they have a peen, think that they have some authority. But all of this could literally be true. These people could have authority and wisdom, but it's arbitrary. And in decolonizing, and you know that some of this stuff is arbitrary, you do understand that respect goes both ways, education can go both ways. Young can teach the old, women can teach men, children can be teachers as well. And until we get to the point where we are decolonizing our minds, we will not understand that just simply being X, Y, and Z doesn't mean that somebody else is going to take our advice and our leadership seriously. There's a part two. Okay, so I was just having a conversation about leadership and sometimes people feeling like simply being older or being the man or being in a position that was bestowed upon them gives them some sort of authority or entitlement to be able to lead somebody, give advice, give orders, and they are using an arbitrary system. And sometimes women, because we don't have very much authority in other parts of our lives, we feel like being the older woman, now we can assert our authority. And I'm looking at this from a middle-aged woman myself, so I can definitely see both sides. I can see the side that is giving advice, but I can see the side that is receiving advice, because I too was once a young woman. So this comment says, as an older woman, I love how young women complain about not having an older woman to guide them or give them advice, and crying online, where are the elders to guide us? Number one, I have not really seen too many younger women that are crying wanting our advice. And a lot of the times it's because that advice is a lot of the times not advice. It's directives, it's shaming tactics, and it's finger wagging. And a lot of it is laced with authoritarian language, like they're supposed to listen to us simply because we are older women. And instead of taking a step back, creating rapport, creating mutual respect for other women, we sit up and cast aspersions. And a lot of times I think that is just punching down or looking down because we don't have very much authority in the outside world. And then you have this woman. She says, I don't know, but this line of thinking seems very binary. We will most definitely not take all advice and guidance from previous generations because you got a lot of things wrong. It's the things you got right that would benefit the younger generations. So we were always going to take advice a la carte. That's the only way that makes sense, but that's just how I see it. You can read the rest of her sentence, but she's like, she doesn't like the double standards or the hypocrites. And a lot of the times, this is where we go wrong. We act holier than thou as if we didn't have a learning process to get us to the wisdom where we are. We just finger wag and finger point. You can read the rest of what she says, but she has something else that I wanted to highlight. This part at the bottom. We need the guidance, but we will not accept it uncritically. This generation is questioning authority. They are decolonizing their mind. They're not accepting authoritative people, and they haven't earned the respect of these younger people. So that is my 2 cents. But I do want you guys to jump in and tell me what you think.